ago will be on display today under the blue skies in Goodyear, Arizona. Cody Anderson was 5-0 in the month of September, and he'll make the start. While the American League Rookie of the Year runner-up, Francisco Lindor, makes his spring debut next on Sports Time Ohio. Soaring Saguaro Cactus in Goodyear, Arizona. It's spring training baseball. This afternoon, the Cleveland Indians take on the Cincinnati Reds in Cactus League action. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. We got underway yesterday, so now it's time for round two between Cleveland and Cincinnati. Cody Anderson will make the start for the Tribe, Rick. But the real story when you talk about rookies who made impacts a year ago, none bigger than Francisco Lindor.
Well, Francisco spent 4 months in Cleveland. He took the town by storm because he broke out, not only playing great defense, but offensively he really picked it up. He had 12 home runs, 22 doubles, hit .313, finished second in the Rookie of the Year, and this kid is going to come back and try to add on to that infectious smile that he has. Everybody loves him. He's fun to watch out on the field.
I don't know that we've seen a guy, maybe since the days of Omar Vizquel, who plays with the kind of charisma on the field that Francisco Lindor certainly possesses. Come on back. It's Indians and the Reds right here on Sports Time Ohio. Cody Anderson will get the start. Jason Kipnis is in the lineup. So is Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. The play-by-play is next.
Today,
you want to
Our game time temperature will be close to 90 degrees and may soar above that before it's all said and done as Cleveland and Cincinnati square off once again here in Cactus League play. A year ago, the Reds struggled as they fell to just 64 wins and 98 losses, while the Indians under Terry Francona posted their third consecutive winning season. For Terry this afternoon, Jose Ramirez will lead it off, the switch hitter, followed by Francisco Lindor. Jason Kipnis is going to bat third. Then it's Mike Napoli, Jesus Aguilar, and Colin Cowgill. Robbie Grossman, Roberto Perez, and James Ramsey round it out.
It'll be the 23-year-old Robert Stevenson pitching for Cincinnati. He is their #1 rated pitching prospect in the organization. He's got a very good changeup. His fastball very explosive. We'll see if he can command that pitch.
We're underway as Jose Ramirez takes a strike.
Stevenson, 25 starts last year between AA and AAA, a combined 8-11 record with a .383 earned run average.
A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Ramirez will work at a number of different positions throughout the spring. Today he's in the starting lineup as a third baseman. But his opportunity on this ball club will be to fill that utility role. His ability to play third base, shortstop, second base, as well as maybe potentially filling in short term in the outfield certainly goes a long way to help him in his quest to make this ball club.
You see more and more players around baseball with every team that they like, you know, utility guy. They want you to play as many positions as you can.
Ramirez takes its called strike on the outside corner, says Roberto Ortiz, the home plate umpire.
Not many people like that. At least the fans did, and that was way off the plate. That was a gift right there.
Now the payoff. Ramirez pops it back out of play.
Another hazy day. We did see yesterday where it was tough to pick up the baseball a couple times. The ball carried very well, at least into right center field and also into left center.
Ramirez socks one high in the air to center field. Schebler, the center fielder, will make the catch for out number 1.
Let's take a look at that Reds defense now that we have an opportunity. It's Winker in left field, Schebler in center, Rodriguez in right, Suarez is at third, Dahl at short, Peraza at second, Allen is at first, Cabrera doing the catching.
Scott Schebler, who made that catch in center field, homered in yesterday's game for Cincinnati.
Made a tremendous catch in left center field with the bases loaded in the, what was it, the 8th inning?
Yeah, he went back, landed awkwardly, and back of his head hit the bottom portion of the fence, but
game-saving catch.
He was okay afterwards and back in the lineup today. Francisco Lindor. Last year, just shy of 100 games played, but look at what he did after the All-Star break. One ball, 1 strike.
There you go, Frankie.
Just notice, Rick, Francisco, he's got the old stirrup look going today.
Yes, he does. I noticed the look of some of the striped socks that they have this year, which, you know, I sort of like. But he's the only one that wears them with stirrups.
Yeah.
Sanitaries underneath. Yeah, you talk sanitaries and socks like that, that's definitely old school.
The 1-2 offering. And Lindor strikes out, 2 down.
That's the changeup right there, the very effective changeup of Stevenson.
Today's storylines this afternoon, and we'll be watching the double play combo for sure. Lindor and Kipnis in the middle of the infield, and is there a job for Jabba, who's trying to make this ball club out of the bullpen? He's scheduled to pitch this afternoon, still has good velocity. Here's Jason Kipnis taking up and away for ball 1. Last year, Jason Kipnis had a terrific season, and he had a month of May that we won't soon forget, compiling 50 hits.
51.
51, 52 maybe, or was it right on 50? I know it was right there because we were amazed. That's a tremendous month. Seemed like he was getting 2-3 hits every single day. 51 hits.
Swung on and missed.
Well, you can see this young man has a very good changeup, as we mentioned. I guess it all stems from, can you command your fastball? If he can make both those pitches, he looks like he could be very effective.
Just missed outside. Tried to throw a low dart. And it's a full count. Jason Kipnis picked up the 50th hit in the month. He did get 51, but the 50th hit came in a game against Seattle, and it was an opposite field double. Just sort of a patented Jason Kipnis type hit. When you think about him staying inside the ball and driving it up the left center field alley, I told him, I said, you know, that was almost perfect that that's the way you got that hit. To get number 50 on that swing, because that's your moneymaker, really.
Yeah, that's when he's at his best, when he stays on the baseball and goes the other way, and he's quick enough to turn on it inside, down and in.
Takes ball 4 up and away, and we'll see Mike Napoli for the first time in a Cleveland Indians uniform. Kipnis takes his base. And now Mike Napoli, who was signed in the offseason to provide a little punch for the middle of this lineup. He's 34 years old. He's played with the Angels, the Texas Rangers, the Red Sox, the World Championship with Boston. Last year, though, got off to a horrendously slow start. And then was traded to Texas and seemed to rediscover things when he went back to the Rangers. Hit .295 in the final 35 games.
Hang on, Matt.
Well, he's a guy that certainly possesses very good power. He can swing and miss like a lot of power hitters, and, you know, susceptible to the strikeout. But he's that threat in the middle of the lineup.
Runner goes, called strike. The throw is not in time. Kipnis avoids the tag. And the Indians have a runner in scoring position now. Jose Peraza did a nice job to short hop, grab the short hop.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't able to really get that tag on him. As his glove was going up, Kipnis able to go to the backside part of the base and steal it.
Takes low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. 80% success rate. Those are the, during a regular season, those are the stolen bases that can be very pivotal when you get a 2-out steal to get yourself into scoring position.
No doubt. You know, there's points and times in games when the score is close late in the game where you want it, you need a stolen base, and you can give it to your team. That instead of maybe having a 4 or 5 run lead and you go ahead and take the base at times. He's going to be a little more careful here, I think, even though it is spring training.
Napoli.
Hand came off the bat.
The bottom hand came flying off.
Sure did. You can see it, boy. He was going to take a healthy cut on the 3-1 pitch. And had to do it one-handed.
The payoff pitch is chopped to third. Eugenio Suarez will throw him out to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. The Reds come to bat when we come back.
Providing local service really has its perks.
Hey, Jen, it's Matt. How can I find out when our Shazam K-Cup pods will get here? I kind of need them now.
Peraza, followed by Eugenio Suarez. Brandon Allen, left-handed bat, will hit cleanup. Yorman Rodriguez is in the 5-hole. Then it's Scott Schebler. Jesse Winker will bat 7th. Colton Dahl hitting 8th. And Ramon Cabrera, the catcher, will bat 9th.
And Cody Anderson going to get the start this afternoon for the Indians. And, you know, Cody really came up and had a tremendous year. We told you in the open he was 5-0 in the month of September, but, you know, began the season in Akron, went 3-2 with a 1.73 ERA in 10 starts, promoted to AAA. Made only 3 starts there before making his debut on the 21st of June and went 7 2/3 scoreless innings in his first start. Was amazing in his first 4 starts. He got roughed up a little bit. And a couple of starts. He was at Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. Spent some time on the disabled list with an oblique. Came back and really finished it off in fine fashion. And boy, did he work out in the offseason. He's in some kind of shape.
Pulls it foul. I don't know what the official total on the weight loss was for Cody Anderson.
But I mean, remember how big his legs used to be? He worked so hard, but he got into a routine last year and just carried it over into the offseason.
Swung out and missed. Hamilton chases it in the dirt. And that's out number 1. Rick, the other thing that Cody Anderson told me that at least had an impact on the weight loss in the offseason is he had his appendix taken out. So that put him on the shelf for a little bit. But he said a lot of it was just, you know, getting his diet in check. And remember, when you're a kid, you could eat anything.
Right.
So I suppose when you're young and you really focus on the diet and stay away from the junk food, so to speak, which was impossible for most of us when we were his age, it can definitely help lead to some dramatic change in the shape of your body. And that's certainly what Cody has done. And this kid really,
he's a big, strong kid anyway.
Took it to the next level when you talk about working out in the offseason.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'4", 240. Don't think he weighs 240, but he's just a strong young man. He was country strong last year. Remember in the Bay Area when all his family came up to watch him pitch in that start out there? They had a ball.
From Quincy, California. Popped up high in the air, right side, into foul ground. Napoli near the railing makes the catch. 2 down.
Take a look at the Tribe defense behind Anderson this afternoon. It'll be Ramsey in left field. Grossman is in center. Cowgill over in right. Ramirez at third. Lindor at short. Kipnis at second. Napoli at first. Perez doing the catching.
I think another thing that Cody has certainly learned at a very young age, he straightens up Suarez with a fastball inside. And that is flexibility. Has a lot to do with your ability to be strong. So it's one thing to be all, you know, it's one thing to look like a linebacker, but you want to have that flexibility.
Well, that's something he learned to put in play last year.
Center fielder Robbie Grossman camps under it. It's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Cody Anderson. We are scoreless after 1 in Goodyear.
When your car needs maintenance or repairs, keep it simple. Come to Conrad's for batteries, belts, hoses, and of course, truly expert ASE certified.
6 and 7 spots in the Indians batting order. Jesus Aguilar, Colin Cowgill, and Robbie Grossman due up against right-hander Robert Stevenson. Let's go down to the best seat in the house, or at least one of them, occupied by Indians pitching coach Mickey Callaway. How are you?
I'm doing well, fellas. How's it going?
Going well. I'm curious from your standpoint, where you sit day in, day out, how overwhelming is it maybe at times when you've got, what is it, at least 21 pitchers here in big league camp, trying to keep track of everybody?
Yeah, it gets pretty tough. I've got 27 guys that I got to get innings for right now, and they can tell you by, their name appearing twice or not being there on the list every morning. They have to correct me that it's pretty tough, but we try to get them, everybody in the game, and get a good look at them, and it's a fun time for us for sure.
Did you say 27?
We got 27 guys that can throw healthily. So
now, do you start before you come into camp as far as setting your schedule going for these guys?
Yeah, I do. The one thing I like to take a look at the first couple of bullpens is, how much do they do in the offseason, where are they at, so I know who can throw in the first couple games, and, we can get through that healthy. So, I can't set it up too far in advance, but definitely do some work beforehand.
Is it comforting at all when you come to camp knowing that at least the 5 guys in your starting rotation, let's say the 7 guys that are competing, these guys, you've got a track, you've got a history with them?
It really is. And not only do I know them, but I know they're going to work hard and they're going to be prepared coming in, so we can get after it right away. And what a good group of young guys we got.
Speaking of that, Cody Anderson come in. Boy, he looks like a different guy out there. He had some big, huge legs, a big country strong last year. He worked hard, and he looks like his stuff is right back where it should be.
Yeah, he really did. He put in a great offseason. He's coming out here in his first game. He's throwing 95, wiped a guy out with a curveball, which was his 4th best pitch last year. So, he's got a plan going into the season, and he's going to implement it. And he's going to be better for him.
Ball's in the dirt. Cowgill swung and missed, and Cabrera able to throw him out 2 away. Mickey, I don't know if you have a monitor down there, but we're going to take a look at just the physical difference in Cody Anderson. I mean, you definitely tell that he's trimmed down. Is there ever a worry that a guy loses too much weight?
There really is, and we've told both Cody and Kluber, hey, it might be time to put back on just a few pounds, and not be so unbelievable. So, that's hard to tell a guy because that's why they're good, but sometimes it's better to carry a little bit extra weight and stuff like that, just from a hydration standpoint, things like that, so you don't pull muscles and whatnot. But they're in great shape, and they're going to be really good for us this year.
Mickey, it seems like most of the numbers, when we talk about all these pitchers in camp, a lot of competition in that bullpen.
Yeah, there really is. We're really looking forward to all these guys battling. We got Chamberlain in camp, Otero. We got some really good lefties that come in, trying to, battle for one of those lefty spots. And it's going to be really exciting because they all came into camp and they're ready. I can't wait to see them all pitch.
Robbie Grossman yanks one down into the right field corner. He'll head for extra bases, and it doesn't look like he's going to stop at second. He'll turn and burn for third, and he'll go in standing with a 2-out triple. Nice piece of hitting by Robbie Grossman, former Houston Astros switch hitter. Got one down and in, pulled it into the corner. And so he's at third base with 2 down for Roberto Perez. Hey, Mickey, you got Tommy Hunter and Craig Stammen, a couple of guys who potentially could help this bullpen. I may be leaving some other guys out, but those 2 in particular won't be ready to go to start the year. What kind of, look into your crystal ball, how do you foresee them getting their work in, and when would we potentially have a chance to see if they could help the team?
Craig Stammen's not that far behind. He's throwing bullpens. He looks really good. He threw 50 pitches in the pen today and looked really good. And Tommy Hunter's just behind him, and we're already seeing the benefits of having Tommy Hunter in camp and his personality and leadership.
Sweet. All right, well, thanks a lot, Mick. I appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
All right, we are scoreless here as we head to the bottom of the second in Goodyear.
Life as a spokesbox is great. People love me for saving them.
Live Indians baseball is back in 2016 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio, broadcast stats, breaking news, and more. Download the #1 app for live baseball. That's MLB.com at bat.
For Cincinnati here in the second inning, Brandon Allen batting cleanup will lead it off. Left-handed hitter takes up and away, ball 1. Brandon Allen, Yorman Rodriguez, Scott Schebler due up for Cincinnati. Cody Anderson worked a perfect 1-2-3 first inning. And he'll start the second with a routine ground ball out.
You know, that's the one thing Anderson did last year. He pounded the strike zone. He made it. You put the ball in play in a hurry. 3 pitches or less. And you looked at him last year, that first start against Tampa, 7 2/3 innings and scoreless baseball, and he was very good. And he's got a good changeup. As Mickey said, he got the one strikeout today on the curveball. That was his 4th best pitch last year. So, you know, at least he took something away from last year to work on it, and he knows what he has to do to improve and try and get major league hitters out.
Fastball gets ahead in the count. Strike 1 to Yorman Rodriguez. I've talked to a number of guys about that series the Indians had last year when we went down to St. Petersburg playing against Tampa Bay. And Cody Anderson began that series.
Yeah.
Took a perfect game into the 5th or 6th inning. I don't remember how deep he got. And then Salazar followed that up with a gem. And then in the series finale, Carrasco came within 1 out of throwing a no-hitter.
8 2/3 no hits, right.
So, but it all started with a Cody Anderson start in that series. And, you know, there were, I believe the number was 6 times last year, an Indians pitcher took a no-hitter into the 7th inning.
Right. That was it was remarkable. They fed off each other.
Big bouncer to second. Kipnis fires to first, 2 away.
And there is what you call a friendly competition on this staff, because, you know, when one goes out there, whether it's Kluber, whether it's Carrasco, whether it's Salazar, whether it's Anderson, and even last year Josh Tomlin, it doesn't matter. They just feed off of it, and the next guy wants to come out and wants to match that performance, if not do better.
And there's friendly competition here in spring training for this final spot on the rotation. Certainly
Sure
Cody
is.
Anderson wants everybody to know that, you know, he didn't lose all that weight. He didn't spend his offseason laying on the beach. He came to camp. He wants to win that spot. Josh Tomlin, who pitched yesterday, and he'll join us next half inning, he wants to be the 5th starter. TJ House, who we've seen at times in the past, the left-hander, has pitched well. He's competing. And there are some young guys we haven't even seen yet that want to be considered too.
I think these guys realize now that they're good enough. They're going to get to pitch up here at some point in time this year.
Robbie Grossman corrals the fly ball. 6 up, 6 down for Cody Anderson. We'll hear from Josh Tomlin when we return to Goodyear. No score as we go to the third inning here in Goodyear, Arizona. New pitcher coming on for Cincinnati. Yet another left-hander. This is Cody Reed. See his numbers from a year ago. He came over from Kansas City in the Johnny Cueto deal a year ago.
Just 22 years old, 6'5", 225 pounds. Pitched in Double-A last year, where he was 6-2 with a 217.
Let's go down to the Indians dugout. This half inning will be joined by Indians pitcher Josh Tomlin. Josh, if I read this right, and Lord knows I might have read it wrong, you're the old man in the starting rotation.
Yeah, unfortunately, you probably read that right.
How did that happen? It seemed like just yesterday you were the kid, you were the fresh-faced young guy. Now you're the elder statesman.
Yeah, it happened pretty quick, didn't it?
Josh, do I see white hair in that beard?
No, luckily I have a hat on because I'm starting to gain power alleys right now.
Talk about this group, this starting rotation. Obviously, you want to be part of it. So does Cody Anderson, who started this afternoon, T.J. House. A lot of competition. But this has a chance to be a very good starting five, regardless of who's in there, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the competition is good for everybody. But that's always a good problem to have in an organization. But I think once we all kind of buy into the fact that we're all going to help this team win at some point in the year, whether that's in the bullpen, whether that's starting, or whether that's starting in AAA, it's part of it. And like I said, it's a good problem to have. But at the end of the day, there's going to be some uncomfortable conversations that have to happen. And it's just kind of part of it. But if you come together and have that one goal of trying to win a championship, it should all take care of itself.
How was it for you this winter, Josh, where you finally went back, you ended the season on a very positive note, you were healthy, you could come into the offseason, and, you know, last year you were throwing that curveball, that breaking ball was back, you had to feel good, and coming into spring training, feeling good this year?
Oh, it's a lot different from years past for me, but it's a good feeling to have, to go in the offseason having a little bit of success and trying to build off that, and trying to get better and trying to keep that same consistency going forward.
Well, and you signed a 2-year deal, which is nice. I mean, that's good. You're back. Let's go. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something I didn't really see coming, but I was very appreciative of it when they offered it to me, and we came to an agreement and got things signed, and now it's ready to go. I'm ready to go play.
Well, it has to be. I mean, I suppose you're cautiously optimistic because you never know what the tomorrow holds, but it's nice that you don't have to think about rehab or all these things that you've been through, but it probably, I don't know, there's probably a great deal of satisfaction overcoming everything you did and being able to go out there and have the success you did at the end of last season.
Oh, yeah, anytime you go under the knife, there's that uncertainty coming back that if you're ever going to get back to the level that you feel like you can get back to. But, no, it was definitely rewarding to kind of come back from that and have some success, but that's in the past. Now it's time to work forward to 2016. So
okay, now
I'm looking forward to it.
Francisco Lindor with 2 down takes the cut, comes up empty. He's in the hole 0-2. Defensively, this club was very good last year, and that's always music to a pitcher's ears, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Lindor down swinging. Josh, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck this year.
You got it.
1, 2, 3, go the Indians. And as we go to the bottom of the third, there is still no score in Goodyear. No score as we roll to the bottom of the third inning. For the Indians, a new pitcher, Tom Gorzolani, competing for a spot in the Indians bullpen. Left-hander. Last year we saw him with the Detroit Tigers. Previously he's pitched with Milwaukee, Washington, the Chicago Cubs. Began his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Made his major league debut back in 2005. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. All told, he has almost 9 years of major league service time, so certainly has the experience. The question, Rick, I suppose, does he have the stuff to still be able to compete?
Well, he was with Detroit last year. He knows the Central Division. He gives you that three-quarter arm angle. I guess the key is throwing strikes. You know, you can have a bad year, you can bounce back when you're coming out of that bullpen. You know how fickle it can be coming out of the bullpen. You can have a good year, and the next year you come out and be totally different. But he will get a very big look-see. Hung a breaking ball there.
And a basket catch made by Cowgill. One away here in the third.
A little handcuff there because we mentioned how tough it can be to pick up the baseball. That ball never really got up high enough. Had some topspin to it, so you got to make sort of the basket catch.
Carlton Dahl, the shortstop for Cincinnati, takes up and away ball one. Line right back to Gorzolani, who picks his pocket and throws out Dahl for out number 2.
Well, the best way to enjoy Indians baseball all summer is becoming a season ticket holder. You can choose from 8 different packages, and now with a 20-game plan, you get up to 12 games free when you buy 8. Just visit Indians.com for more details.
Ramon Cabrera. Batting ninth, the Cincinnati catcher this afternoon. Last year at AAA, he was Louisville's most valuable player. Hits this ball high in the air to left field. Ramsey is under it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Gorzolani. As we head to the 4th inning in Goodyear, no score between Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Come celebrate.
Hey, we're back here tomorrow afternoon once again in Goodyear, Arizona. Reds, Indians will wrap up this 3-game series. It's not really a 3-game series, but it feels that way.
It is in spring training.
14-game winner Danny Salazar will make his Cactus League debut. 3 o'clock Eastern right here on the home of the Indians, Sports Time, Ohio.
Well, there weren't any other games out here yesterday as far as Cactus League
I didn't realize we were the only game in town.
We were the only game, yeah.
Well, I think part of the reason, as you said, the 2 teams share the facility. Another thing, Terry Francona just detests the idea of an interleague.
Inter-squad?
Inter-squad games.
Right, that's what other teams are doing, playing inter-squad.
Just doesn't like it. He said, I don't want my guys competing against each other. And he said, it's just not fun. He basically said to me, it's a waste of time. So
that's why you play a game, and I don't disagree with him. Everyone else was playing inter-squads, or some teams maybe down in the Grapefruit League were playing colleges and things like that as compared to doing it professionally.
Second baseman Peraza takes a hit away potentially from Jason Kipnis, one away. I think Terry would love to do that if they could ever. It's hard, obviously, for teams from northeastern Ohio to come west. Most teams, I would assume, if you're a college team, you're going to go south to Florida as opposed to coming all the way out to Arizona. But I think he'd like the idea of being able to play against a college team in an exhibition setting before you start your spring training play. There's a strike to the outside corner. Mike Napoli, a bouncer to third base, his first time up. It was fun the other day. I was watching the last round of batting practice. Napoli and Santana were in the same group. Napoli hit 4 straight home runs. And then Santana got in and did the exact same thing, 4 straight. He's a guy that when he gets into that groove and you're watching him in the cage, it's just, there's no doubt. When the ball leaves his bat, you can just say, gone, that's gone. No question.
He's a big, strong man. I mean, and the ball can fly out of here.
That's true.
When you get, and that's why they always end up with coaches' batting practice. They may face pitchers earlier in the day, but when you want to end it on a good note, they get to face the coaches at the end, where you can end up when you can hit 4 in a row or something and walk away on a positive note.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Down low. And it's 2-2.
Napoli, a guy always that sees a lot of pitches. He's one of the hitters that probably sees some of the most pitches of any hitter. Averages 4 or 5 pitches in that bat. Here you go. He's 3-2 again between him and Santana. But those two, if they go back to back, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a pitcher with 12 pitches in just those 2 at bats.
Oh, he rockets this ball into left field. Napoli aboard with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Put a good swing on that one. Went deep into the count. Got a base hit. Looked like a little cutter or slider down and in that he hit, and hit sharply.
Well, Mike Napoli's a guy who's worked very hard to make himself into a very good complete player. He's not just a bat. I mean, this is a guy who was a catcher
in Anaheim,
who converted to first base because the catching was just taking its wear and tear on his hips, and so he turned himself into a very good first baseman. You don't do that overnight.
They didn't think he was a great catcher, but they wanted his bat in the lineup.
Right.
So he works at becoming a decent first baseman. He can pick it, and he will get the bulk of the playing time. Well, Francona says we're going to play our best defender out there, whether it's him or Santana. And I think that Napoli will have the upper hand when it comes to the defense in that pair.
Jesus Aguilar takes down and in 2 balls, no strikes.
Because Terry knows with the pitching and the way the defense played last year, I want my best defense out there, but because, boy, it means a lot.
Aguilar drives one up the alley in right center field. Rodriguez watching it. It's off the wall. The center fielder, Schebler, is there. to fire it in. Coming around third. Napoli's going to head home and score. Ball gets away. Aguilar will go to third.
That was very good coaching by Mike Sarbaugh.
And very poor fundamental execution by the Cincinnati defenders.
Yes, because he was going to hold them up. And you see, he went down the third base line, and he was ready to hold them up until he sees the cutoff throw over the man's head. And he continued to score Napoli, or he would have held him up. They didn't play it very well coming off that wall. He gets to the ball, but the throw is terrible. It misses, and it comes all the way to the infield, and he doesn't stop Napoli one bit. To me, Mike Sarbaugh did a beautiful job right there coaching third base. And you got to give an error to allow Aguilar to get to third base.
34-year-old Mike Napoli scoring all the way from first base in his first spring training game of the year.
Get him, baby, get him, baby.
Rick, it was hard to tell because I was sort of trying to watch both the center fielder and then keep an eye on Napoli. If Schebler just turned and just launched it to no one in particular, because the ball wasn't close to anybody.
No, you have to hit your cutoff man. Napoli not blessed with good speed. You get it in, you give the double, and it's second and third with one out.
Calgill down on strikes, 2 away.
Still has a chance to get out of the inning. But watch, he turns and fires, and there's nobody in sight. He missed everybody. Just a terrible throw, and that enabled Napoli to throw, or to score.
That reminds me of that old saying, be quick, but don't be in a hurry. And it looked like Schebler was trying to get rid of the ball so quickly, he never picked anybody up, so he just threw it.
Well, and that's the mistake he made. You always have to gather yourself, slow everything down to get it in. You know, they say 2 good throws.
It might take a beat to pick up your guy,
but it doesn't matter. You save it, but you get the ball to him at shoulder height, and it means a big difference.
Grossman bangs it up the middle off the glove of Peraza. And Dahl has no play. The Indians get another run as Aguilar comes home to score. It's 2-0 Cleveland.
Nice 2-out base hit there. Deflected off the glove of Peraza. Shortstop Dahl wanted to try and make a throw, but wisely holds up. Gets it right back up the middle on the backhanded side. He couldn't field it cleanly. Dahl makes the play, holds on to it. So with a 2-out hit, the Indians get their second run of the inning. Well, I guess they said that was an error as well.
Oh, come on, right?
Well, who's the official score? Let's see. It's Cincinnati's day today, right? It was Jack after yesterday for us if we're the home team.
The guy left his feet, didn't he?
Well, I thought it was a tough play. I thought it was a base hit. You can't be critical. It's the second day of spring training. I'm not going to get on the official scores yet.
Not just yet.
Give me a break. Wait till opening day.
Roberto Perez ground out his first time up.
You're trying to get me going already, aren't you?
No.
Between you and Murph.
Never do that.
Well, it's staying a hit on my card.
Perez grounded out to third, his only time up in the second inning. And he rifles one to the right side of the infield. Peraza made a nice stop, throws him out to end the inning. But the Indians strike first here in the 4th inning. Mike Napoli comes home on the Aguilar RBI double. Aguilar scores on the Grossman knock.
Go big with a
2-0 in favor of the Indians now. Heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. New pitcher for Cleveland is Jeff Manship. This was really one of the feel-good stories, I think, of the season for Cleveland last year. I mean, Jeff's a guy who's been around, certainly paid his dues. He's 31 years old, and I'm sure he was wondering if maybe the string was out on his big league career.
Could have turned his whole career around.
But boy, oh boy, 32 games, he had an 0.92 ERA. Nobody who's pitched in at least 30 innings in a season in Indians history has ever had a lower ERA. Only allowed 20 hits in those 39 innings of work. 10 walks, 33 strikeouts. Anthony Recker takes over behind the plate.
Didn't he work out in the offseason last year with his high school coach or something? He gave him a tip, changed him on the rubber, and ended up having a vicious slider. It really put together a very good year. Surprised. I mean, he surprised everybody.
Down low. Chopper to first, and Napoli's right there to grab it. Tags the bag one away.
A $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio is a standing room only ticket that includes your first drink. Grab some friends, catch a game from the corner, or the new drink rails in left field. The district tickets are only available online, so just go to Indians.com for the details.
It's almost like Mike Napoli pays homage to his days as a catcher. As the ball's being delivered, he goes all the way down
like a catcher
into a catcher's crouch, doesn't he?
Well, get himself, stay loose, and he gets up before the ball is being hit for sure.
Swung on and missed. You were talking earlier about Manship. It was his college coach.
Okay.
Skip Johnson at the University of Texas, who recommended just moving over on the rubber. So
right.
He moved about 20 inches, he said.
And he was able, it changed his arm angle, and he had a much better break to his breaking ball. How about that? Isn't that great?
You always wanted to see Fausto Carmona just make that same kind of move.
Tell him to move over, because he used to get wild, and it would be up and into the right-handers, up and away to the left-handers. Change your. He used to pitch from that. What was it? The third base
all the
side.
way over on the third base side.
Third base side. Move over. Let that sinker run in. You can start it pitching on the outside corner. He finally did it, and I think it was the last year he pitched with us.
Manship doesn't use the extreme edge of the pitching rubber, but he is more towards the third base side of it. I don't know.
Little subtle adjustments depending on your arm angle, and you create angles when you're a pitcher.
Some of it might depend, too, Rick, on how a guy delivers. Some guys throw across their body. Some guys are slingers.
Arm angle.
Fly ball to center field. Back is Grossman.
Pitches.
He gathers it in 2 away. Jose Peraza out number 2, and Eugenio Suarez will be the batter. I mean, think about this. In Jeff's first 6 years in the big leagues, his collective ERA was 6.46. And last year he goes under 1.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was only 32 appearances, but
you know, you also you take it into play that he was used properly too when they came in with Terry. You know, they eased him in. They didn't put him in really pressure situations early. We need an inning from you, but he started to, you know, gain a little confidence as he went out there and he became successful. He'd have 1, 2, 3 innings. He wouldn't give up any hits, and you build from there.
Ball smoked down into the left field corner. Suarez on his way to second base. James Ramsey over to dig it out. And it's a double for Suarez, the first hit of the game for Cincinnati.
Yeah, coming with 2 outs here in the 4th, the first base runner for the Reds. But he's going to get himself in scoring position. Kept it inside the bag at third, hits the stands, and goes all the way down into the corner. So gives Brandon Allen an opportunity now with 2 outs.
You know, not that Jeff Manship was a matchup guy, but right-handed hitters, I've forgotten how deadly he was against righties. They were 8 for 89 against him last year.
Yeah. He had it rolling. You know, and this year is going to be a totally different year.
Ground ball up the middle. Kipnis can't get it. It's into center field. Suarez comes around third. Throw to the plate by Grossman over the cutoff man. And it allows Brandon Allen the tying run to get into scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, right now, Brad Mills is going to be upset with that throw. There's 2 outs. It's a 2-0 game. It's a 2-out base hit. You don't have a chance to throw him out at the plate, so why miss your cutoff man? Allen's not a guy that can run. He sees the ball's over his head, so he continues and gets himself. That's the tying run in scoring position. That's a sin as an outfielder. You keep the man at first base. You keep, you know, the double play in order, although there's 2 outs. But you certainly have to hit your cutoff man. He will be addressed when he comes in.
Bounce just wide of the chalk over the bag at third. Is that a case of a young player trying to overdo it so he can impress somebody instead of just taking the fundamental play and doing it?
It could be, but that's not impressing anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's going, if you're that aggressive, that's not smart baseball. You have to hit your cutoff man. It's a 1-run game now. You assume he's going to score with 2 outs. Wasn't hit all that hard. It wasn't a 1-hopper, but you always have to hit your cutoff man. Never give up the extra base.
High fly ball right field. In comes Cowgill and makes the catch. Inning over, no further damage, but Cincinnati gets on the board. After 4, it's Cleveland 2, Cincinnati 1. Two-1, Cleveland on top as we go to the 5th inning. And as we went to break and the Indians came off the field,
Well, where's Brad Mills? He's going to come into your picture. He will have a little something to say. Grossman realized it. He knew. He missed the cutoff, man. Here comes Mills right here. Yeah.
Hey, a lot could be said with just a look.
Well, he was going to tell him something, but it came out of Grossman's mouth first.
Yeah.
But he had to acknowledge it for sure.
Jumbo Diaz on the pitch now for Cincinnati. We've seen this guy a number of times. It seems like we always see him in spring training too.
Oh yeah. He's always one of those guys. I mean, he appeared in 61 games for him last year. But he's paid his dues. He's been down in the minor leagues for about 10 years.
He has 97 career games in the majors, and all 97 of them have been in the last 2 years. So prior to that, from 2002 until last year, he was strictly in the minor leagues. Missed one entire season with an injury. James Ramsey lifts the ball out of play on the left side. Ramsey came from St. Louis in the Justin Masterson trade a couple of years ago. Ground ball headed up the middle, but it's cut off by Peraza. One away.
All right, you can get your district tickets. First drink is on us. Presented by Sports Time Ohio. Go online, pick them up.
Here is Jose Ramirez, 0 for 2 on the day. He is flied out, grounded out. 2 years ago, Jumbo Diaz, at 30 years of age, was the 5th oldest rookie to make his major league debut that year. That might stay fair. It's spinning and into foul ground.
Had to let it go because they wouldn't have been able to get him. But then it had that kind of spin where it just went foul. Cue shot right off the end of the bat. It starts out fair, and you can see the spin it had on it. And by that time, Cabrera says, I'm not going to touch it, because he wouldn't have had a chance to get him.
Now 1-1. High in the air to right field and well hit. Back is Rodriguez. He's on the track. He's at the wall, and it is gone.
Oh, you get a carry.
Jose Ramirez gives the Indians a 3-1 advantage now with his first home run of the spring. I'd say he got on top of that one.
Well, it's just the spin that it had on it. We watched the ball carry out of here yesterday when you have that top spin on it. Just seemed to never come down. He got underneath it, and it just kept going and going and going. And the right fielder's just looking up. Rodriguez says, nothing I can do. That's into the cheap seats.
Ramirez hit 6 home runs in 97 games played last year with the Indians. Now Francisco Lindor, who has struck out twice here this afternoon. It's outside. 1-1. Down in the dirt, 2-1 to count. Even though Francisco Lindor received many accolades a year ago and was runner-up in the Rookie of the Year balloting, Terry Francona said he hasn't shown up at camp this year acting like a guy who has a job security. He's still here first thing in the morning, taking the ground balls, doing all the things you have to do.
Smart enough. He realizes, you know, 4 months doesn't make a career.
One out single for Lindor. He's aboard for the first time today.
Good swing, staying on it. So
I think it also says, Rick, a lot about his wanting to be a leader, and you have to earn that. You don't just announce that you're a leader. You have to earn that, and I think it goes to where he wants to be one day.
Well,
as
he
a player.
still has to prove himself. You're right. I mean, he's got to come out. The league's going to make adjustments to him this year, and he's going to have to make adjustments to the league. And you know, it's a game that no matter how good you play one year, you got to come back and you start all over again the next year. And people don't care how good you were last year.
No, in fact, if anything, they ratcheted things up a little bit to see just how tough you are. Can you maintain it? Can you bounce back if you get knocked down?
This is what makes the game so great. It's always a game of adjustments. The minute you think you've got it figured out is the minute you're going to struggle.
There's Jason Kipnis, who walked in the first, grounded out his last time up. Strike call, it's 1-1. Now we saw Kipnis steal a base back in that first inning. But spring training don't see a lot of the run game. Ground ball, and the Reds will turn to end the inning. But Jose Ramirez supplies a little pop this afternoon, and the Indians lead it 3-1.
It's
(3-1). The Indians lead it going to the bottom of the fifth inning. And Jabba Chamberlain coming on now to pitch for the Indians. Last year spent time with Detroit and Kansas City, and in 36 games and an ERA 4.88. Signed a minor league deal, an opportunity to compete for a job here in spring training in December. Now, Jabba Chamberlain is a guy who obviously he's had an up and down type career, but man, when he's on, he can be very good in that bullpen.
You know, it seemed like every time we faced him recently, you know, what was it with Kansas City at ending the year, Slider, and Detroit. It was
Heavy
all
slider,
sliders. Heavy dose of sliders. It's almost like he forgot to throw his fastball.
Well, and the interesting thing about that is he told me when we talked last week that he still feels very good about, because I said to him, I said, do you take any more satisfaction at this stage in your career being able to get guys out where you've really got to pitch? Whereas earlier in your career, you could just kind of rear back and blow it right by people. And he said, I still feel like I can reach back, get mid-90s, maybe touch 97. So if he can do that, as you said, Rick, if you can still get to that level with your fastball, it's going to make your other stuff that much better.
Well, he's going to come out of the bullpen. He's not going to pitch more than an inning for the most part. So if you establish that fastball, and I know his slider is his go-to pitch and his comfort pitch when he gets behind there, you see it right there at 2-1. Was that a slider? Looked like it.
Swung out and missed. There's a good fastball.
That was a good fastball.
We don't have our radar set up here in spring training, but you can work off the hitter and know that that was a pretty good pop on that fastball. You know, I asked Terry Francona one day, we were watching a guy throw in the bullpen, and I said, after all the time you spent in the game, can you sit here just watching the guy throw in the pen and get a gauge roughly where he's at velocity? He said, nope. He said, I've never been able to do it. But he said, in a game where I sit in the dugout watching the hitter react, he said, I can usually get within a mile or 2 miles an hour of where the guy's at velocity-wise.
Yeah,
good work by Chamberlain.
So that's his bread and butter right here. The slider gets him to swing over the top. And that ball just bottoms out, disappears.
And if you've got a good slider, if you can set the hitter up with your fastball, it just takes a little bit of that front shoulder to bleed out. If you can get the guy to twitch like that, it can make that slider even more effective. Because they've got to sit on that fastball.
Throw that strike one when you prove you can get your fastball over. You know, that you may get some outs on first pitches with that fastball, and you won't have to get to your slider, but his out pitch is his slider.
Down low. All kinds of changes defensively now for the Indians. Eric Steinmetz is now at shortstop, and Michael Martinez has taken over at third base. Launched deep but foul, way out in front of it.
Yeah, Walt.
Zach Walters is now in left field. Jabba Chamberlain said not only is he excited to pitch for the Indians, but he said, I guess everything comes full circle. Just don't bring back the bugs. Line to center. Caught by Grossman, 2 away. Bruce Drennan is back, ready to talk about today's ball game and everything else going on in the sports world. Drennan Live takes over the airwaves today after the game right here on Sports Time Ohio.
Yeah, Bruce had a few weeks off, and his first show started yesterday. We heard it went well. Into the new studios at Fox in downtown Cleveland.
A stone's throw from the ballpark.
Yeah,
now.
That's beautiful.
Calton Dahl. Ground ball back to the pitcher. First time up. Calton Dahl is from the Netherlands. And his legal first name is actually Carlton, but he prefers to go by Calton.
Okay, Carl.
And he's a fly ball out victim to end the fifth. The 1-2-3 inning for Jabba Chamberlain. And the Indians lead it 3-1.
Kids tickets start at just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They are located in the family deck out at Progressive Field, and it's right next to the expanded kids clubhouse. Go to Indians.com for your kids tickets.
The pitcher for Cincinnati, Ryan Matthews.
$57 games last year for the Reds. 55 innings. Walked 17. Gave up only 3 homers, but opposition hit 300 off him.
Cincinnati, like the Indians, changing things up. With not only a new pitcher, but they've got just about a new guy everywhere on the field.
Yeah, that's the way you do it early in spring training. Everybody's going to get a chance to play.
Mike Napoli takes, it's a little bit high, ball 1. Napoli hammers it foul. Look out, Mr. Softy.
Yeah. Just a tad out in front of that one.
Napoli singled in the 4th inning, came around to score for the Indians. Blown away. To 1 pitch, and Napoli's got a second base hit of the afternoon. He's 2 for 3.
There's a little breaking ball away. It stayed up a little bit, but he kept his hands back enough. Gets it into left field, so both hits by Napoli today going into left field. Ended up coming around to score his last time. He was up on the double by Aguilar because of a bad throw out in center field by Schebler. Missed the cutoff man, rocketed it into the outfield. And Mike Sarbaugh did a good job of continuing Mike Napoli all the way around to score.
just foul up the third base side.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be around the corner, the outside corner of the bag. But no, it is certainly foul by about a foot.
Strike 3 called. Low in the zone. Aguilar out looking, one away.
Well, had plenty of plate right there. Gets the call. He might have been looking for a breaking ball. Locks him up with the fastball away.
Cowgill swinging a miss. Cowgill has struck out both times up here this afternoon. Chop towards third. Pacheco goes to Blandino for one on to first. And the Reds complete an inning-ending double play. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. Cleveland 3, Cincinnati 1. All right, back here in Goodyear, Arizona. Beautiful desert landscape. New pitcher for the Indians is the right-hander Dan Otero. Last year with Oakland, appeared in 41 games. Another guy with experience that has come into camp and will compete for a spot on the bullpen.
I remember a couple of years ago when he had a tremendous year with Oakland when he had that sinker work. I guess as a guy that's a ground ball machine when it's right. Keeps the ball on the ground, keeps it in play, can, you know, come out with runners on base and get double play balls. But when you do something like that, and Oakland used him an awful lot, you can come back the next year and that arm doesn't feel quite like it did the year before. Foul up the third base side.
Joe Hudson took over for Ramon Cabrera behind the plate for Cincinnati.
We'll get to that in a couple of innings.
As we like to say, wholesale changes. Good pitch, outside corner, painted it. Hudson out looking, one away.
Comes out, makes a perfect pitch. It had a little comeback down at the knees.
Actually had more plate than I thought originally.
Yeah, that ball came back. It was well located. So he gets the called strike. Cave coming up to hit now.
Yeah, Jake Cave will take over for the DH, Billy Hamilton. Cave was a starter yesterday for Cincinnati. Last year, you see what Cave was able to do. Double and triple A levels. A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got a message from the third member of our team, Andre Knott, who's back home watching.
He is?
He's watching the TV with one eye. He's watching the snow fall outside his window with the other.
Big Andre, what's up, pal? He sent you a note. You notice he didn't send me one.
No,
I'm not in the loop. I knew that.
There's a fly ball deep center field. Robinson chasing after it. He'll play it off the wall. And into second base with a 1-out double is Jake Cave. Andre wasn't sure how to get a message to you. You're not exactly tech savvy.
Don't be afraid to try.
Going to send you a letter.
Call. This one plugged the gap in right center field. So in scoring position now for Cave.
Did you ever update to the touch tone phone? Or are you still working the rotary dial?
I got the rotary. And Andre knows the number.
Alex Blandino bounces it to first base. And Nelly Rodriguez stays with it for out number 2. Jake Cave moves to third base on the play.
Oh, yeah, he comes through.
It didn't take long, did it?
No, I knew. It's just a matter of time. That peer pressure. You know, what's he doing sitting home? He should be out here in spring training.
Well, I think he's going to be here by the end of the week.
We'll tell him we won't need him by then. We'll be done. Looks like you got a new phone number, too.
Jordan Pacheco cuts and misses. Good pitch by Otero. Really
tied him up.
Ate him up inside. Pacheco had some opportunities last year with the Diamondbacks, not far from Goodyear. Phoenix about 20-25 minutes east of here. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Stamets. Perfect throw to Rodriguez to end the inning. 6 in the books here in Goodyear. The Indians lead it by a score of 3-1 thanks to Mike Napoli, who has a pair of hits. He'll join us next here from Goodyear. Cleveland on top 3-1 as we roll on to the 7th inning here in Goodyear, Arizona. New pitcher for Cincinnati, right-hander Caleb Cotham will come on to pitch here in the 7th. And we'll head down to the Indians dugout, where we're joined now by Mike Napoli, who had a couple of hits in his first spring training action here today. I mean, I know it's spring training, but is it always nice to get those first out of the way?
Yeah, it is. You know, you're on the backfields for, you know, a week and a half, 2 weeks, and you finally want to get out here to compete against, you know, someone else rather than your teammates.
Mike, were you a little surprised when Sarbaugh started to send you with that double in the gap? He saw that ball was overthrown. He got to score from first on the first day. That's no fun.
No, I mean, that's the least thing I want to do right now. But
right.
You know what? Hey, my legs feel good, and I know I can do it.
That's beautiful.
Well, I mean, hey, you showed up well in the endurance test. You weren't the first man out, so right. Hey, every once in a while you gotta leg it out, don't you?
Yeah, I hear you. Being this age, you know, when they told me I had a conditioning test, I was like, man, I haven't done a conditioning test in 8 years. So. But I made it through it and made sure I wasn't the first one out.
How's it been, Mike? I know it's not the first time you've had to adjust to a new environment, new clubhouse, but this team, this clubhouse, this environment in particular, what's it been like for you so far?
It's been great. You know, I got to go to Fan Fest and meet all the guys, and you know, had a good time. And you know, it's a fun clubhouse. A lot of young guys that you know, enjoy being around each other, and you know, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you've had an opportunity to play in the Western Division. You've been in the East. Now you're in the Central, man. Hopefully there's some good ballparks for you to hit in here in the Central.
I'd like going to the Central ballpark, especially in that summertime. It's
yeah, Chicago. You like over there against the White Sox?
It's a pretty nice time to be hitting.
That is a good ballpark to hit in.
Mike, what was the sort of the message that Terry Francona delivered to the team when he addressed the full club on that first day?
I mean, we need to come together and be a team, and you know, pick each other up and play the game the right way. And you know, I think that's a great message to all of us to, you know, get in spring training, get our work in, come together as a team, and you know, play together, you know, when we're out there on the field.
Well, I know he's certainly thrilled because he loves his veterans, and you're one, and you've been around him before, so you know, your influence in that clubhouse certainly could pay big dividends here.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to that. You know, there's a lot of young guys, and you know, I had the opportunity to talk to, you know, a bunch of them already, but you know, I hope these young guys want to come in here and pick my brain. And you know, I've been fortunate to be in a lot of, you know, winning ball clubs, going to playoffs, and you know, so I mean, I'm here for them, and you know, I'm here learning too. So show up to the park and try to learn something every day.
Mike, every team comes to spring training with high hopes, with optimism. From what you've seen, what gives this team a great opportunity to be optimistic? Every reason to be excited.
Well, it starts with the pitching staff, you know, the starters. You know, everyone's saying that our offense is, you know, is our downfall for this team, but we don't have to score that many runs with our pitching staff. And, you know, it's going to be a group thing. We need to work together as a lineup to, you know, manufacture runs, and, you know, we're up for the task.
You're going to get a bulk of your playing time, Mike, at first base. Now, does it bother you to DH throughout the course of the year, or would you rather be out on that field defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I like to be involved.
Oh, that ball's crushed. Anthony Recker trying to leave the yard. It's deep, and it is gone.
You almost know it when they hit it, don't you?
That was loud.
Yeah, it was loud.
Anthony Recker, opposite field home run, makes it a 4-1 Cleveland Indians lead.
We're going to get a chance to listen to the ball off the bat right here. Oh yeah,
that was squared up.
Solid. Do you like the ball carries a little bit more in Arizona than it does in Florida?
Yeah, it sure does. It's
good town to hit in.
Yeah.
Mike, what have you learned in your career, in particular the two teams that you played on that got to the World Series? It was Texas first, then obviously won it with Boston.
You know, I mean, I'm a true believer in, you know, guys coming together in the clubhouse. You get everyone on the same page and, you know, check your egos at the door, which happened when I was in Texas and Boston. You know, good things happen. You know, you play for each other, you pick each other up, and you come to the ballpark to, have fun. So this is a beautiful game. It's a fun game, and it's nice waking up, wanting to come to the park.
There's a lot to be said for chemistry, and I think a lot of people misunderstand what that clubhouse chemistry is, and it takes the 162 to build that thing for all the players, and that's when they come together through injuries, through everything like that, and people just don't understand how much that means to the game.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a big part. I've been fortunate, like I said, and I've been around some pretty cool clubhouses.
Well, Tito wants you guys to run your own. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, he lets you take care of it, and that's the fun part of it. He's an easy guy to play for, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been awesome so far. Through the whole free agent process, I got to talk to him a couple times, and you can tell he's a good person. He's genuine about what he says to you, and he really means it. So it's nice to have him at the top and play for.
Michael Martinez getting his first at bat here this afternoon. Mike, people always talk about the Indians and the young players, the young core guys, if you will. But these guys now have the kind of experience that they're not kids anymore. Or do you sense a lot of these guys kind of growing into those leadership roles?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys have been around for a couple years and had some winning seasons. So, it's time to take the next step. They've been around and they know what it takes. They know what it takes for themselves. So I think it's time to get over the hump.
I don't know exactly what the lineup's going to be yet this year, but I do know one thing. You're going to be hitting in the middle part of it, whether it's fourth, fifth, or something like that. So I can't wait till Michael Brantley comes back, because you're going to have a chance to drive him home a lot of times this year.
Yeah, he's a great ball player. I got to play against him for years now. So he's a special player, and we're going to need him. So.
Well, I've been telling people all winter long, I said, don't bet against him, because obviously there were some reports erroneously out there that said that he might be out half the season. Obviously the initial reports from Cleveland were he might miss some time in April. I wouldn't bet against him being there on opening day. It may not be likely, but wouldn't put it past him. Mike, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. That's Mike Napoli. Indians tack on another run, another long ball, and they lead it by a score of 4-1. Singing the seventh inning stretch here in Goodyear, Arizona, where the Indians lead the Reds by a score of 4-1 going to the bottom of the seventh inning. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, and we're joined now by Indians general manager Mike Chernoff. How are you?
Great. Good to be with you guys. Good to see you.
He got the black shirt on. He needs a blue one like that to match it up. Really nice.
Well, first of all, Mike, congratulations. New position. But the roles, according to Chris Antonetti, when I've talked to him, really, things haven't really changed that much, have they, with regards to how you guys operate?
I don't know what he's talking about. I took over completely. Just knocked him completely out. I don't listen to a word he says now. Come on.
Atta boy.
That's the way to do it. But it really, I mean, how was your winter overall when it comes to the trade, I mean, the signings and things like that? You all do the same thing, right, when you're doing your homework?
Yeah, and I think what Chris was referring to is in our environment. In our environment, we, even as an assistant GM, Chris had given a tremendous amount of responsibility to me and some of the other guys in the office. And with the amount of conversations and text messages and things that we have going on, you know, I was taking on probably 15 of the teams and half of the agents, even as an assistant GM. So a lot of the actual work that we were doing hasn't changed that much. The responsibilities, of course, increase. You feel a little bit more of that burden in this role than maybe as an assistant. But the actual day-to-day operations haven't changed all that much.
So you have to go out and speak more, like be on television with us?
I have to be with you guys.
Yes, you do.
That's the worst part of the job.
We're trying to get FaceTime for you out here.
I got a face for radio. My dad's in radio, and he and I have faces for radio. That's it right there.
I think it's pretty cool, though, speaking of your dad, that you still get together at least once a year or once a month?
Once a month.
Once a month.
Oh, yeah.
Just to play catch.
He's out here now. We had it yesterday.
Is that right?
We had our March catch yesterday, yeah. Once a month since I was 6 years old. Have never missed a month.
No kidding. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys play catch, is it strictly just playing catch, or do you use that time to talk? And
honestly,
into the corner, it will be a fair ball. Yeah, Joey Butler's going to dig it out, but Gavin LaValle goes into second base with a leadoff double.
That's the best part about it. It's the connection. I mean, it's when he and I, especially as you get older, you see your parents a little bit less frequently, or when they come see me, they really just want to see my kids. They don't even want to see me. And in that 20 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour, whatever it is, you just fall into these patterns where we start connecting and chatting about life. Yeah. It could be nothing some days. It could be the biggest, most influential, biggest impact things going on. But that 20 minutes is really something that I cherish, and it keeps us connected. I mean, it's not often that you get to see, that everyone gets to see their parents once a month. And I feel really lucky that I'm able to do that and have that connection with my dad.
And it brings back the old days when you used to just play catch with your dad just to play catch. You know, and you say anything can come up from that. That's pretty awesome. So how's spring going for you so far?
It's been good. It's been
I know it's early.
Yeah, and of course there's always some optimism very early on like this. Any team, you know, when you look out on March 1st or March 2nd, has that level of optimism. But I think for us, we feel really good about the core of this team. The starting pitching staff is what we wanted to build around. It's the clear strength of our team with an enhanced defense with guys like Lindor out there, Napoli at first, Uribe at third. We feel like pitching and defense with that kind of core there, we can really compete this year, and we feel like we added enough offensively to be able to do that.
And good news today coming out of the camp from Tito as far as Michael Brantley goes. He's, you know, ahead of schedule without a target date or anything like that, but he's exceeding all expectations early in camp, isn't he?
If you ask his target date, he'll tell you opening day, which of course we need to slow that down.
No, I understand, but at least it's good to have it in his mind. He wants to get it out there opening day.
And he has been incredibly diligent. I mean, we get in here early at like 6 in the morning in the weight room. He's in there already. He has been incredibly diligent about his rehab all off season, and I think that's, if anything, that's what's going to speed up the time frame.
Right. You know, you never want to rush anybody. It seems like Ryan Gomes rushed back a little bit early last year. Kipnis the year before with his oblique, but you want to bring them back when they're ready, and only they can tell you that. But you want to put the reins on them. But it's good. We need them in this lineup if we want to score a lot of runs.
Well, you've seen it so many times. If you come back just a week early or 2 weeks early, it ends up lingering for far longer than that. So in the end, we need to make sure that when he comes back, he's completely ready to play and ready to contribute at full strength.
Going back to the winter meetings, when baseball's sort of hot stove really officially heats up, did you ever get deep in any dialogues where you went, maybe? Did you ever get even that deep? Because I know teams were calling about the starting pitching. It's the strength of this team. And I know you weren't obviously ever tempted enough to do a deal, but was there ever anything that made you sit back and say, hey, maybe we should really think long and hard about this one?
I've watched Mark and Chris on with you guys enough times to know to say there's either the trade is either done or it's not done. There's no maybe, there's no in between. No, we have, I mean, thousands of exchanges, and with every team, and when you have a starting staff like we have, teams are going to come after those guys. You have to listen, you have to do that job work through, hey, what are the alternatives? What could we possibly get out of this? In the end, we value those guys even more than other teams do. And I think we understand how much of a strength that is. We understand the types of guys they are, the types of workers they are beyond just the pitchers that they are. Maybe other teams see the performance, but they don't know that aspect of it. So in the end, we didn't make any of those trades, but we had thousands of conversations over the winter about those guys.
Everybody wants the pitching because they're young, they're in control. And you see what the price of starting pitching is nowadays on the market. It's amazing now, isn't it?
Yeah,
it truly is. I wish I was a pitcher. I would have go back to being a center fielder to a pitcher now.
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate to have the group that we have and have them with the club control that we have to be able to build around it. Because otherwise, that's $500 million or $600 million right there that you can't afford.
It really is scary to see. And, you know, and Frazier was the one guy you talked about with Cincinnati, and they traded a couple of guys, and they never got a pitcher back, but they wanted our pitchers.
That's right. That's exactly right. When you're balancing those types of decisions, you in a year where you feel like you have a team that can compete, you don't want to take away from your major league team to add in another spot. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Exactly.
It's easier to line up, we'll trade a prospect for one of your major league players, or we'll trade one of our major league players for a prospect in a rebuilding phase. When your timeline is we're looking to add to the major league team, it's hard to trade away from it at the same time.
Well, as we talked about many times, when you come to spring training, you're looking at least 8, if not 9 starters you want to have ready at all times, right? Even for down there in Columbus for your rotation as well.
No doubt about it. You need at least 8 or 9 guys to get through a season, often more than that. We've seen some good things so far already.
Yeah.
Guys like Cody, and
he was fun to watch today.
He was really fun to watch.
Josh Tomlin yesterday. Strike throwers, they get ready, let's go. They get after it. They're fun to watch.
And Cody, I mean, Cody's a great story, the work that he put in. So he put himself in a spot last year to compete. He worked harder this offseason.
I know.
Comes in even better shape. He's throwing 94 to 97, ripping off sliders. He looks like he's in a good spot.
Well,
right? Now we got to pull back a little bit.
Well, he got a taste of the big leagues. And, you know, he doesn't want to go down for the minor league meal money. He wants big league meal money. He knows where he wants to pitch, and it's beautiful.
Well, that tells you something about him as a guy, too, because a lot of guys will get to the big leagues, see that, and actually back off a little bit. They think they are established. They think they have arrived. And what he takes the opposite approach. He feels that he needs to work even harder to stay there.
Might be trouble, and it's going to drop in fair just beyond the reach of Nelly Rodriguez. And Cincinnati gets on the board here in the 7th on a bloop RBI single by Phillip Ervin.
You know, I think these guys realize, too, if they do not make it, because we talked to Josh Tomlin today, they know at some point in time they're going to have an impact on this team, whether they make it or they don't, because it changes once you break camp. Here in spring training, you go home, you know how April can be. Something happens, you may not need a 5th starter, and someone's going to have to pitch out of the bullpen, but eventually you're going to need these guys throughout the course of the year. Well, they realize it.
Tito talked about it in his first speech with the players. 44 of the guys that were in camp with us last year contributed at some point in the year. So we're going to rely on almost every one of these guys at some point. You never know when that time's going to be. As he says, it may not be on their time frame.
Right.
It's going to be when the opportunity is there, but you have to come in with a mindset that you're going to be able to contribute at some point.
Kyle Crockett deals, and Blake Trahan delivers a fly ball to center. Shane Robinson loses it in the sun.
Tough sun.
Coming around third to score is Ervin. Into second base is Trahan. The Reds with a pair here in the 7th close the gap to a 1-run now at 4-3.
That tough sun field, still up behind home plate, and he's battling it right now. They tried to stay with it all the way, but right at the last minute, he's got the glasses down, and it just comes out of the glove.
That's the worst part. It's one thing to lose it in the sun where you completely lose it, but that one, he at least had the ball in his glove,
Well, you can see they have the glasses. They wear them with them down. It's just tough to see. But I don't know if they're dark enough. You can look up into the sun, and it doesn't matter how dark they are. It's just tough to catch a baseball out here sometimes.
We don't have sun in April in Cleveland. You don't have to worry about that.
Not like that. It's not that high in the sky. Well, I mean, the ball out here, we talked about it yesterday. It carries, it's sunny. When it gets windy out here, you're going to see that a lot, and you're going to see it from every different team. Unfortunately, it prolongs the inning. And the Reds cut the lead to 1.
No balls, 2 strikes. The count on catcher Joe Hudson. We're visiting with Mike Chernoff, Indians general manager. Reds have scored a couple here in the home half of the 7th to make it a 1-run game. Kyle Crockett looked like he was going to get out of the inning, but all lost in the sun by Shane Robinson, allowing Cincinnati to keep the inning alive. Strike 3 called. Crockett picks himself up, gets out of the inning. We'll continue with Mike Chernoff. We go to the 8th inning in Goodyear. It's 4-3 Cleveland. Of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Moving on to the 8th inning, where Cincinnati has closed the gap on Cleveland to a run at 4-3. New pitcher now for Cincinnati is Kivas Sampson. Right-hander will face the 2, 3, 4 spots in the Indians order here in the 8th inning. Last year, you see Sampson made a dozen starts and got roughed up with an ERA of 6.5. You know, Mike, we're visiting with Mike Chernoff, Indians general manager. Rick said yesterday that Cincinnati had, I believe it was 64 consecutive games started by a rookie pitcher last year.
Since the end of July.
That's a tough spot for a general manager when you're you know, that you never go into a season thinking, you know, by August we should have all rookies. That's never a good formula, but sometimes as a GM you get into that spot and there's not a whole lot you can do to dig yourself out.
Well, I think that's right. You're seeing what they're going through in terms of some of the trades they're making, trying to rebuild and restock. So they want to give those opportunities to young guys and try to sort through and figure out who's going to be a contributor. We've been in those situations too, but it's certainly painful as you go through it.
Well, they traded a few players in the last couple of years to rebuild that farm system. They got some good young arms over there, though, but they're young, and you know they need a veteran to maybe help them develop here at the major league level.
That's right.
Mike, how often are you still in conversation with teams about players, you know, once you get into spring training? Or most of those things, are they rare, or do they still, you still feel maybe a call a day, a call a week?
I would say it's probably at least a few calls a week. Those conversations really never stop. I mean, you guys know how deadlines work. You probably file your taxes on, you know, the day before tax day, right? So deadlines certainly push limits on or push the urgency of the issue. So the day spring training ends and the day we break, that's when a lot of these guys that are out of options or have outs in their contracts where the trades will actually be made.
Okay.
Or trade deadline, of course, end of season, those types of times. But the conversations are happening throughout the year. And right now you're exploring interest. You're trying to find out what a team might be looking for if, you know, as we move on in camp, if we have some depth somewhere where we may be able to send a guy or get a guy back.
I mean, I suppose a trade could happen in 5 minutes. Somebody could call you up and say, hey, this makes sense. Let's go ahead and do it. But I would imagine most trades that end up happening may have started back in Nashville, a conversation that you maybe revisited a few times, you put it in a file, you keep thinking about it, and then maybe in July you revisit it again and say, this really makes a lot of sense now.
There's no doubt about it. You're exploring those ideas, and you're getting a sense of how another team maybe values their players, how they value your players. And once those pieces are in place and you kind of get that better picture of it, it's a lot easier to act. Now, at the same time, like you said, we've had 2 phone calls and the trade's done. Sometimes it just, you know.
It matches, but it seems like that's rare.
That is rare, for sure.
Well, and a lot of times people say, hey, let's just make this trade, get this guy for this guy. Contractually, I mean, that's got to be a huge difference. You know, contracts come into play for players, and they have no trade clauses sometimes and things like that people have no clue about.
Yeah, there's a lot of complexity to it, for
It's
sure.
gotta be.
Right. It's not like fantasy baseball. I mean, it's fun to think about it in that way and to think about where you can add and subtract, but in the end, there's a lot more complexity to it in terms of time frames of when you're looking to compete, contracts, things like that. Exactly.
A little bit low. Good eye. Eric Gonzalez.
And it was nice. Matt was telling me that you're going to join us once a week now during the year.
For half innings only. I don't know how I got this full inning. First, we have the error out in center field, and then a full inning.
I'm giving you an opportunity to get some runs back here. You have 2 in the top half
before I agree to this.
I think Chris has got to come in here and be a part of this too.
Do you find yourself, is it sort of in your DNA, do you negotiate everything? I mean, if you're in the store, do you talk to the grocer and say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking maybe 3 for $1 here, pal.
I will say this. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So there is a lot of negotiation going on at home. Unfortunately, I seem to lose all of those negotiations.
Yeah, you usually do when it comes to the kids.
Gonzalez down on strikes, 1 away here in the 8th inning. As we visit with Indians general manager Mike Chernoff. The outfield situation, boy, you've brought in a lot of guys to look at, and certainly from that mix, you'll probably be able to find the right guys to fill. Whether, you know, and again, some of this goes back to Michael Brantley and where he ends up with regards to the time frame of how much time he misses, if any. But do you feel like you've got the right guy here somewhere in this mix?
It was a huge blow to hear about Brantley's injury, to know he'd be out for 4 6 weeks, whatever that's going to be, however long it's going to take, and then to find out the Almonte thing thrown at us at the time when it was. I mean, we find out the same day when he finds out, when everyone finds out. So to have that happen at the beginning of spring training is hard to deal with in the moment. At the same time, we have a huge amount of depth of some of the younger players, Tyler Naquin, James Ramsey, some of the younger guys in camp, and also some of the non-roster guys that we brought in, Will Venable. He's the only one I can remember with the Princeton teammate connection, but a few other guys, Shane Robinson and Robbie Grossman and all the guys that we brought in. So I think we're fortunate in that we had kind of stockpiled some of that depth in the outfield where we have the ability to handle some of these things, had gone out and gotten Rajai Davis, had transitioned Lonnie Chisnall to right field already. But it's going to be a challenge to sort through that in spring training and figure out how we're going to plug those holes.
Another challenge I see coming is going to be the left-handed batter who's coming out of that bullpen. Left-hander. You really would love to have a left-hander, that you can rely on and count on. But the bottom line, I guess, you always want to get a pitcher that can get outs, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Because I think for a manager, it's tough if you've got a left-hander that cannot get you outs and you have him out there, you're almost forced to bring him in anyway.
Yeah, and Tito's got a lot of options to sort through. I mean, 2 young guys, Kyle Crockett,
right,
and
Kyle's
Gio
got to bounce back. And Soto's been throwing the ball.
He pitched great in winter ball and looks good so far in here. And then we added 3 veteran non-roster guys, Gorzolani, Thatcher, and Detweiler.
Right.
So some guys with a little bit of experience in that role. A couple of those guys have actually made some adjustments and may have a little upside beyond where they were in the past couple of years. So we at least have some options to sort through and hopefully plug that hole for Tito.
Yeah, that's going to be a battle.
Mike, let me ask you this. If you get deep into March here and it becomes readily apparent that maybe you don't see the answer to your outfield solution here in camp, is there enough flexibility? Do you have the wherewithal to go out and make another move? Is there would you be able to sign a free agent if somebody were still to be available?
I think we feel like we have the pieces in place in camp here. But we're going to have those ongoing conversations at any time. Whenever there are alternatives out there, we have those conversations.
Well, it's hard to believe for me, like you say, there's still free agents out there, like an Austin Jackson,
and
like other players.
And I didn't bring him up because I know you don't comment on specific players.
You guys have learned well all the time, haven't you?
But obviously, but as Rick said, that's a name that's been thrown out there. And
I mean, that's unbelievable to see that they're unsigned. There's a number of guys that are still unsigned that I'm sure could help big league clubs right now, but they're sitting out there. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Where's Tyler Naquin at in terms of his development? I mean, is he legitimately in the mix here in your mind, or does he still need more seasoning at AAA, Tyler Naquin?
Well, I mean, that's a tough question to answer. Everyone could probably use some more seasoning, but he is absolutely in the mix. I think for the first time in a couple of years, he's completely healthy. And so that's the starting point. Once he's healthy, he can really compete. That's right. Secondly, he committed himself in December and January of this offseason. He came into Goodyear. He was here the whole time. In strength camp, his body, you can tell he looks a little bit stronger, a little bit more mature. And I think he has put himself in a position from both a physical standpoint with the health and the body and a fundamental standpoint to maybe take on that role or at least be prepared if the opening is there.
You know, I came down in January, and they had about 40 guys here that were working out. And I know Naquin was one of them, and so was, let me see, there was a couple other guys that were down here. And it's just strength conditioning. They bring guys in and younger guys to get used to, the professional baseball, right?
It's unbelievable. Our Major League strength coach, Joe Kessler, and our minor league coordinator, Todd Kabacki, and his whole staff have been unbelievable in getting that off the ground over the past few years. You see the gains that guys like Cody Anderson have made. A lot of that came from strength camp a couple of years ago. Tyler Naquin, it's unbelievable to see what those guys are doing, and they're quantifying it all. So we get to see the numbers behind the scenes of just how much progress guys are making. It's a real credit to those guys and the work they put in.
Well, I watch those guys on a daily basis for 10 days when I was out here, and it's remarkable. I didn't see them throw baseball. No. Now I'm way too old for that. I was watching and saying, boy, I was glad they didn't do that when I was playing.
Well, you see those guys pushing sleds. Yeah. I mean, it is like, it looks like a football workout.
It's very intense.
We got a couple of guys on our TV truck that we might need to sign up for that program.
You can keep them.
Mike, thanks so much for spending the full inning with us here.
Oh, he's
not a second inning?
You're not
just
coming back for another one.
Mike Chernoff, Indians general manager, with us. Indians lead the Reds 4-3, middle of the year.
Well, Tribetown MVPs is the official kids fan club of the Cleveland Indians, designed for kids ages 6 to 14. Memberships are $20, include invitations to exclusive events and cool tribe gear. Visit Indians.com.
Boy, just showed that barbecue stand out there on the third base side.
Yeah, that you've been frequently.
How about the loaf of French fries they serve?
Only for you, my friend.
Curly fries seasoned.
That's your new nickname, Curly.
Curly.
Just one.
Just
one love.
One thing. One thing. There it is. If you make your way to the Goodyear Ballpark this year, folks, from back in Ohio, hit the barbecue stand. Don't tell them I
Tell
sent
him Matt sent
They'll
you.
charge you double. No, that's a good eats.
Put it on his tab.
Good eats right there. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jake Cave leading off for Cincinnati. Left-hander Giovanni Soto on for Cleveland. A little bunt attempt. Soto off the mound. And he throws it up, 1 away.
Love that. One pitch.
That was Soto's MO last year. One pitch and he'd be out of the game now.
Yeah, that's right. He had 2 or 3 appearances with one pitch.
He'd come on to face a left-hander for Terry Francona, and he'd make one pitch, get the out, and Terry'd come get him. We used to ponder aloud that, does he take a shower on a night like this? Do you just get in your street clothes and go home?
Yeah, a lot of times he just changed clothes and left.
Last year, solid campaign for the internationally champion Columbus Clippers. As is always the case, and you know this as well as I do, we talk because we have time to talk about all these battles in spring, who's going to be on the club. But you know at some point, we're going to see Giovanni Soto this year. It might not be when the team leaves.
No question.
But we're going to see him at some point because he showed the ability last year to get guys out. And, you know, he's in that spot to be a left-handed matchup guy.
And you need him. It would be nice if you had Tito. I'm sure Tito would like to. But that's going to be an interesting battle. And right now, I think he may have a leg up on some of the other guys because he pitched in winter ball. You know, and he's maybe a little bit sharper.
Comes in a little sharper. Yeah.
You know, so he may be a little ahead of the program right now for spring training. But, you know, ultimately, it comes down to it. We say it every year. The players end up making the decision.
Is it different for a pitcher versus a position player? Did you feel different when you played winter ball when you went to spring training?
Well, guys, you know, I mean, they have better breaking ball. They have a feel for their breaking ball as opposed to, I mean, you can throw a few, you know, bullpens on the side before you come to spring training or something like that. And, you know, but competition-wise, you don't have that breaking ball ready. You know, you got to get a feel for it after pitching in games. And as a hitter, as I told you, I think, man, you're just looking for a fastball. If they start throwing breaking balls right like that, you got no chance. And that's my point.
It didn't look like Blandino had much of a chance.
Well, that's my point. Right there, look at that slider. It starts out. He gets that call down and away. You can't hit that pitch. So you take it, you walk back. You're thinking, man, this guy's in mid-season form. You're not used to seeing that pitch in spring training. At least at the start of spring training.
Jordan Pacheco is 0 for 1. He came on in the 6th inning and fly to center his only time up. Well, I thought it was interesting. You know, you and I were talking to Mike Hargrove earlier today, and you asked him, as a, you know, when he was managing, would you rather have no lefties, or did you just want a lefty to have a lefty? You know, I mean, in other words, if you didn't have a good one, would you just rather not have one?
Right. And he says, give me somebody that can get outs. I don't care if they're right-handed or left-handed. The key is you have to get outs. You're not going to scare anybody if you have a left-hander. His job is if he's going to match up and get left-handers out, he better get his outs because it makes you look terrible. His job, hold on, he's going to be up every day for the first and foremost. If you only have one left-hander coming out because you have a lefty at every game that you're going to have to match up against.
Obviously, when the Indians got Paul Ossenmacher, they struck gold back in the mid-90s because he was terrific. And then they also had, you know, an Alan Embry who was a hard-throwing left-hander.
Yeah, I mean, you would like, I mean, you never know. Sometimes you have to match up in that 5th, 6th inning. You know, if your starters don't get you along to get a key out. And you know you're going to have to do it later in the game.
Well, it's too bad that Rafael Perez looked like he was on his way to becoming one of those really good left-handed relievers. You figured he'd be around forever, but boy, he kind of lost it quickly. But boy, there for a couple of years, he was really good.
He never threw the ball straight. He couldn't. Just playing catch with him, he could hurt you.
Well, Pacheco works a 2-out walk to keep the inning alive. That's the tying run down to first for Cincinnati here in the bottom of the 8th. Sports Time Ohio is your home for this winter's high school championships. Girls basketball begins March 12th, hockey on March the 13th, and the boys state finals will come your way on March 19th. Your home for the high school championships, Sports Time Ohio. Boy, we had a great time this year with high school football, culminating with a terrific weekend at the Horseshoe in Columbus with the state championships in early December. Gavin LaValle doubled and scored in the 7th inning. Doubled down into the right field corner. Reminder, we'll be with you once again tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time, when the Indians and the Reds square off here in Goodyear. Then we'll take a day off on Friday and be back with you Saturday when Cleveland hosts the San Francisco Giants right here from Goodyear.
Tomorrow's matchup, Danny Salazar against Anthony Descalpani. We get Kluber on Saturday against San Francisco.
Ground ball to third. And Martinez recovers but can't throw him out, and it gets by Rodriguez. And down to third base goes Jordan Pacheco. And we'll stop there. So second and third with 2 down now. Should have been out of the inning. It was a hard hit ball, but Martinez looked like he was trying to come up on the ball. He just never really got it cleanly.
Trying to knock it down, and by the time he picks it back up, he short hops him at first base. So that extends the inning. Not only that puts the tying run at third base, but the go-ahead run out at second. So a ball at third base, you want to make the play, but at first base, you also want to knock it down. So they're going to get an extra out here.
You could almost give 2 errors on that play if you're the official score.
Yeah, you certainly could.
Juan Duran struck out his only time up. Juan Duran goes 6-7 out of the Dominican Republic. He waves at it 1-1. This guy had a rough year last year. He was hit by a pitch, and somehow when he was hit by the pitch, he got a hairline fracture and torn ligaments in his right arm.
Well, that's a bad day.
Doesn't it sound odd? Like, how do you tear ligaments when you get hit by a pitch? Unless he did it when he fell down after he got hit by the pitch. I don't know, but put him on the DL. Had to have surgery. Smashed to short. Stamets throws across. Got him. And that'll end the inning. So Giovanni Soto perseveres and gets through the inning unscathed. 4-3 Tribe as we go to the 9th. Another warm afternoon in Goodyear, Arizona. Indians up a run. One of the storylines today, Jabba Chamberlain trying to earn a spot in the Indians bullpen. He came out in the 5th inning and worked a 1-2-3 frame against Cincinnati. Struck out Scott Schebler. Jesse Winker fly to center, and then a fly ball to right off the bat of Carlton Dahl. And that was it for Jabba Chamberlain. So good first outing for the right-hander, the veteran. And as we roll on now to the 9th inning, Carlos Contreras will be the 7th Cincinnati pitcher to work here this afternoon. He'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Cleveland. Joey Butler will lead it off.
Hi, Joey.
Shane Robinson will bat second. And
hi, boy. Whenever ready.
Let's see who's due up third here. Is it Record?
I think so.
Yeah, he homered his last time up. I hope so. Oh, actually, I think they made a change behind the dish.
Lucas, maybe?
Jeremy Lucas.
Yeah, it's tough to keep track early.
As Yogi Berra once said, it gets early late.
Yeah, well, especially when they're not announcing the changes here from the press box.
Butler takes it inside. Joey Butler looking for an opportunity. Played in 88 games with Tampa Bay last year. Joey will celebrate his 30th birthday in 10 days. You know, he told me that when he faced Carrasco in that situation when Carlos had the no-hitter going with 2 outs in the 9th inning down in St. Pete, he said, I definitely wasn't timid. He said, I was going to go up there, and there's a good at bat for Butler as he draws a walk. And he's got a sense of confidence about him, even though he hasn't really ever had the opportunity until last year. But he's got some confidence, and I like he sort of has an aggressive approach. As you always said, you know, you got to hit your way into the line. You got to hit your way on base.
Yeah, you can't be passive. You got to get up there and swing the bat. And boy, it was about 2 inches from being a no-hitter, though.
Yeah.
Right over the glove. I can still picture that ball that was hit. It was hit hard, sharp, and Kipnis jumped, and he just a couple inches away.
I sat down with Carlos Carrasco. Feature you'll see on Indians Live coming up at some point this year. We went back and relived that moment. Robinson puts a jolt into one. Onto the warning track in deep left field, and Irvin makes the catch. Thought maybe Robinson got into it enough to get it out of here, but falls short.
Take a look at this hit right here that stopped it out over the plate, right over the glove of Kipnis, who's jumping. Carrasco, I don't know, man. He was smiling. That was a great performance.
I told him in the feature that we did, I told him that made it to me, the moment so much better was his reaction. Instead of
disappointment.
Yeah, instead of that, he was just the opposite. And that to me really made it a great evening. You're disappointed you didn't get the no-hitter, you didn't get to see it, but his reaction.
You cannot pitch any better.
You can't
very
be disappointed.
Easily. No, not at all. And that capped off, as you mentioned, a 3-game series where I don't think you'll see better pitching in any 3-game series in a long time. And that just continued your string of never seeing a no-hitter, by the way.
Yeah. Jeremy Lucas cuts and misses. Jeremy Lucas won the endurance test among the position players.
It's amazing, isn't it? A catcher.
Well, and he was normally they don't run with the position players. They run with pitchers and catchers. But he was a late addition to spring training. In fact, I think he told me he was hanging at one of his buddies' houses, just kind of hoping to get an opportunity. And sure enough, he got the phone call and he showed up, but he was in great shape and ready to go.
Well, I'll say.
And he outran Francisco Lindor. So that tells you something. Not only is he a catcher, but he outran Lindor to win the endurance run. 25 years old. Last year it was at the AA Akron. Got the call to report to camp, and it wasn't can I get there, was how fast can I get there. Strike 3 called. And Lucas out looking. 2 down here in the top of the ninth. I was trying to remember, Rick, why Lucas was the late addition, and I'd forgotten it was the Indians had to put that's a fair ball, and Walters is out. That's going to end the inning. Tony Walters, not related to Zach, different spelling, he had to be put on waivers. He was playing by the Rockies, opened up a roster spot. Lucas came to camp, and now he's trying to open some eyes. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. This is a video we shot from Rick Manning's backyard, just north of Goodyear, Arizona here.
I wish it was.
That's the beautiful Grand Canyon.
Yes, it is.
Well, Cody Anderson was the starter today for the Indians, and if you didn't know any better, you'd have swore it was mid-season form. He faced 6 hitters, retired all 6 batters, had a strikeout, worked quickly, threw strikes. Just everything you sort of have come to expect from him.
Well, yeah, very aggressive, putting the ball in play 3 pitches or less. Very aggressive out there. He looked great today.
So the 8th man to pitch this afternoon for the Indians. And as we go here to the bottom of the 9th inning, Ryan Merritt, as he'll try to close it out here for the Indians. Hanging breaking ball is hit toward right center field. Nice job to cut it off by Robinson. And Tyler Holt jams on the brakes, goes back to first base. But Cincinnati has the tying run aboard to lead off here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Ryan Merritt is in big league camp for the second time. Last year he was 12-7 overall between AA and AAA. That 3.63 ERA in the 27 starts that he made. Among Indians minor league pitchers, he led all in innings pitched, 171 innings worked last year in the minors. There was a 7-inning no-hitter against the Reading Phillies. Runner goes. Tyler Holt is in there safely with a stolen base.
Had a very good jump. He timed him beautifully. Game set. He just took off. He takes a peek back and plenty enough time to steal that base easily.
And again, that's the tying run in scoring position now with nobody out here. Bottom of the ninth. Phillip Ervin is the batter. And Ryan Merritt trying to get out of trouble. Merritt pitched at least 5 innings in all 27 of his starts last year. And for what it's worth, Baseball America rated him as having the best control in the Indians organization as a pitcher. This ground ball is up the middle. Backhanded nicely by Gonzalez. Throw to first. Rodriguez can't come up with it. And Tyler Holt will score the tying run. So second time here today that Nelly Rodriguez has not been able to knock a ball down that was thrown poorly his way. And this time it results in Cincinnati tying the ball game.
Well, he did his job. He was going to get the guy to third base. The play is, it's a do or die play. At first base, you have to really just come off the base if you know you can't pick the ball, just to block it. He tried it, deflects off his body and allows Holt to score. So this ball game is tied here in the ninth, and the winning run is on first base with nobody out.
Blake Trahan reached on an, I don't know, did they give him an error back in the 7th inning on the ball in the sun, or did they give him a hit?
Good question.
Runner goes, great jump, and he hits it through the hole.
Done to perfection.
Irvin on his way to third, and Cincinnati has the winning run now 90 feet away.
Yeah, they vacated at second base, and that hit and run, done to perfection. Hit it to the right side. He was off and running. He had a good jump. And that's the key, to get that jump off the left-hander where you can make somebody cover. And at second base, he was going over there. Gonzalez, by the time he gets up, the runner goes to third. First and third now. The infield has to come in. Still nobody out.
Hey, interesting that we watched this drill, this exact drill the Indians practiced this afternoon. Runners at first and third. At the end of the drill, they actually practiced this exact drill. You know, except in that instance, I think they said it was the tying run at third base. If the runner at first goes to second base,
will. They won't even look at it.
They won't throw through.
They won't even sneeze. He can go ahead and walk into second base if he wants, but it doesn't really matter. They're concerned about that guy at third. The infielders are on the cut of the grass.
Outfield drawn in as well. They can't afford a fly ball that's caught that they can't throw the guy out at home plate now.
Oh my
goodness. Back to Merritt. He stabs it, throws the first, double play. No, they say he's safe. Oh, boy.
What a play. I'll tell you what, he had the wherewithal to he didn't panic. That ball went right in his glove, and it's a good thing he didn't take off, or he would have been out. But it looked like he could have been out.
I thought he had him at first base.
Yeah, it looked like it. I don't know how he snagged that line drive right into the glove. Now watch, at third base you're going nowhere. He was caught off first base. And by the time he throws back, well, it was close.
Yeah, I didn't realize his foot wasn't initially on the bag there. So after the second look, appears to be a good call. Still first and third, one out. Jake Cave to the plate now for Cincinnati. Doubled in the sixth, grounded out in the eighth. Takes a strike. Indians have a couple of arms up in the bullpen. Either guys getting in some work or maybe just in case. Sometimes in spring training, if it's a tie after 9, the managers will look. You got anybody left to pitch? Do you want to go, or do you want to just call it a day?
They usually know going into it if they have pitchers. I don't see anybody. Well, there is somebody in Cincinnati's pen, but I don't know if they're catchers. There's nobody throwing.
Well, that might depend on what happens right here. Jake Cave takes a strike. He falls behind on the count 1-2. Hits are even now at 8 apiece. Cleveland charged with 3 errors today. Cincinnati with 2. A little bit outside. And a costly error to start this 9th inning. On the second baseman, Gonzalez, who threw it away to first, allowing Cincinnati to really put the pressure on. They've tied it already. Winning run at third. Strike 3 called. Merritt punches him out, 2 away.
Well, comes back with the heater down there, and that's one is when you're up in that situation, you certainly do not want to take when it's that close. But he gets his second out and a chance to get out of it.
Alex Blandino is the batter. Blandino was rung up his last time up. He took a nasty slider for a called strike from Giovanni Soto. Takes low, ball 1. Now Blake Trahan took off. He went down to second base. They weren't holding him. They just allowed him to go ahead with 2 outs. It's really up to Ryan Merritt in the defense to get the batter. Just inside, 2-1. Stay tuned for Drennan Live. Bruce Drennan will be manning the microphone in the studio alongside Ashley Collins. They'll get you covered on the ball game this afternoon if you tune in late. Get you updated on everything else happening in the world of sports, in particular your Cleveland teams. Well, all of a sudden Ryan Merritt's fallen behind 3-1 now to Blandino. Jordan Pacheco would be next.
Yeah, he doesn't have to get carried away and throw one down the middle. First base is open.
Full count.
Hey, man, let's go. Hey, man. Calm down. Calm down.
Merritt with the payoff pitch to Blandino. Popped him up. Center field. Robinson. He makes the catch. And that ends the bottom of the 9th. Cincinnati ties the ball game. So it's a 4-4 score, and it looks like we'll have at least one extra inning from Goodyear here this afternoon. On second thought, that's the ball game. Like Terry Francona said, we've had enough. Now they've used a lot of pitchers. Cleveland used 8 pitchers, and I believe Cincinnati used at least 7, unless I lost track. So they went through their complement of arms this afternoon. So the game ends in a draw. 4-4 is the final score, as Cincinnati rallies with a run here in the bottom of the ninth to tie it up at 4 apiece. But offensively today, Indians got off to a great start. Good to see Mike Napoli in his first action in an Indians uniform. He had 2 hits, singled twice, scored a run. Jose Ramirez, not a guy you think of as a home run hitter, but he did go deep for the Tribe. And the Indians ultimately end up with a 4-4 tie here this afternoon. Really good work by Cody Anderson, who started 2 scoreless innings with a strikeout. And Jabba Chamberlain, in his first action in an Indians uniform, pitched a scoreless inning of relief with 1 strike.